Ancient India was a vast state, comprising of small and big kingdoms. During that time, the Indian subcontinent was divided into two major political units. Janapad, that is, the small kingdoms, and Mahajanapad, meaning big kingdoms. There were 16 Mahajanpads. Out of the 16 Mahajanapad, there was one named Magadh. In 544 BC, 2,500 years ago, King Bimbisara of the Archaeological dynasty ascended the throne of Magadha at the tender age of 15 from his father Bhattaya. King Bimbisara of Magadh holds a significant place in the annals of ancient Indian history. His reign marked the beginning of Magadha's rise to prominence as one of the most powerful and influential kingdoms in ancient India. Bimbisara's astute leadership, military prowess, patronage of Buddhism, political alliances, and administrative reforms played pivotal roles in shaping the destiny of Magadh. It was under him that Magadh truly earned a reputation that helped it become a powerful kingdom in the entire Indian subcontinent. Bimbisara ruled at a time when Gautama Buddha, 563 BCE, and Mahavairavardhamana, 599 BCE, the respective founders of Buddhism and Jainism, both started their teachings. Bimbisara has been given much importance in the early Buddhist and Jain sources because he probably endorsed both these religions equally. He ruled from a place called Girivraja, which was also known as Rajagriha and is identified with modern Rajagir in the state of Bihar today. It is said that the city of Rajagriha was built by Bimbisara himself. The city was covered on all sides by 5 hills, creating a natural fortification. During the initial years of the Archaeological dynasty, the Indian civilization was being refocused from the northwest to the eastern and central zones of India, with 6 great kingdoms on the rise. They were Kosala, Avanti, Vatsa, Vriji, Anga, and finally Magadh. During his childhood, Bimbisara saw his father carrying a futile military campaign against the Anga king Brahmadatta. So when he came to power, he sought revenge on Brahmadatta. But to do that he needed to be in a powerful position. So that, if he attacks Anga kingdom, the other powerful kingdoms like Kosala, Avanti, or Vriji doesn't join hands and attack Magadh. To solve this problem, Bimbisara sought marriage alliances with kingdoms in order to increase his sphere of influence. Soon, he secured the alliance of the powerful Kosala kingdom by marrying their king Prasenajita's sister Kosala Devi. Next, Bimbisara married a Likavi princess, Chalana, daughter of one of their kings Chetaka from the powerful confederation of the Vrijis. She was the mother of his son Ajatashatru, his successor. Bimbisara also married Khema, a princess from the Madri clan of the kingdom of Madra. Bimbisara was a very able military general, but aware of the limitations of his forces against the greater kingdoms of his time. So, after securing his position by forming his alliances with the other kingdoms, Bimbisara finally took his revenge against Brahmadatta, the king of Anga and his long-time enemy. He was also motivated by the commercial potential of annexing Anga, which was strategically located near the Bay of Bengal. Being an able general and trained in ancient Indian warfare, right from his childhood, he could defeat the Anga forces easily. Bimbisara then made his son, Ajatashatru, the governor of Anga. This way he gained access to the oceanic routes of Anga, which brought flourishing overseas trade to his kingdom, and he also provided his natural heir with some valuable insights into the workings of commerce and administration by placing him in command there. With his position strengthened, Bimbisara set his eyes on the most powerful kingdom of that time, Avanti, with its capital at Ujjain. But even after several battles, neither Bimbisara nor King Pradyota of Avanti emerged victorious. However, being the sound strategist he was, Bimbisara soon formed a friendship with King Pradyota. Buddhist sources also state that when King Pradyota once fell ill, it was Bimbisara who sent him a specialized apothecary and got him treated to recovery. Though Bimbisara's conquests and military exploits were limited, his greatest achievement was the system of government and administration established during his rule, which would be followed by many of the subsequent dynasties of Magadh. Bimbisara established a chain of command of officials which ensured proper taxation and collections. He was said to have been in possession of around 80,000 villages which had a village headman in charge of each, called Gramak. Those headmen were entrusted with the collection of taxes as well as with the responsibility of running the administration. Bimbisara also appointed high-ranking officials for judicial, military, and financial administration. Any official found lazy and a non-performer was replaced, but otherwise, he also listened to the sound advice of his closest high-ranking ministers. Magadha's prosperity during Bimbisara was not only affected by his foresight and intelligent administration, it was assisted by other factors too. Magadh was traditionally rich in minerals and iron ores, which was the area of Chota Nagpur Plateau, and the region was full of wooded forests. That provided armaments, elephants, and ample wood for the army, and the fertile Gangetic plains always provided a surplus to the farmers. Bimbisara maintained the Indian tradition of having 4 divisions in his army: infantry, cavalry, chariots, and elephants. After annexing Anga, he also formed some units of navy there. All these were inherited by Ajatashatru, who would strengthen it by further conquests and armaments. Magadh endorsed many other religions other than Sanatana Dharma, like Buddhism, Jainism, Ajivikism, etc. The Buddhist chronicles mention Bimbisara as a follower of Buddha, while the Jain sources make a similar claim. However, most probably he was the follower of Sanatana Dharma, which is Hinduism. Although, what we know is that Buddha probably visited Rajagriha during his rule, where he received much assistance from Bimbisara, who hosted him and his disciples. Bimbisara was said to have supported the monks of all religions who came to visit him. He also supported religion by making many services free in his kingdom for the ascetics and monks. He is also said to have constructed many hermitages for them and, especially, made the ferry services free to them. Since Magadh was the center of the Gangetic plains, the river transport was one of the most important aspects of the kingdom then. There are also various legends associated with Bimbisara and his association with Gautama Buddha. Even some of his wives were apparently Buddhist followers, and according to Buddhist chronicles, Bimbisara's son Ajatashatru also became a follower of Gautama Buddha later in his life. Bimbisara, for all his astuteness, had the follies of an early Indian king too. He always believed in his son blindly and never checked on him. Ajatashatru was ambitious right from a very young age, and he was egged on to commit patricide by other factors too. According to Buddhist sources, Ajatashatru was continuously ill-advised by Gautama Buddha's wicked cousin Devadatta. Devadatta wanted a position for himself in the kingdom, and he saw Buddha's growing influence on Bimbisara as a detriment to that ambition. So he tricked and convinced Ajatashatru to usurp the throne by deposing and executing his own father, which Ajatashatru did. However, there is also a legend which says Bimbisara took his own life after being imprisoned by his son. Whatever the case, Bimbisara's queen from the Kosala kingdom also died in a short while in grief of her beloved husband's death. Ajatashatru soon realized his mistake, and upon that, he supposedly met Gautama Buddha. This event is depicted in a sculpture recovered from Bharat, India. Bimbisara, in a way, unified the ancient empire of Magadh. He sowed the seeds which later saw others taking Magadha into greater heights, and uniting an entire subcontinent. He started a policy of religious tolerance by enabling any religion which came to his kingdom to flourish, and also encouraged arts and crafts in his kingdom. He has been very highly spoken of in the Buddhist and the Jain sources. He is known to have made a positive cultural impact on his citizens. He established a solid foundation of administration and trade in his kingdom, and has been remembered in Indian history not only as an able ruler who founded the supremacy of the Magadh kingdom, but also the first major ruler of India whose existence can be established with any certainty. The story of this remarkable monarch serves as a testament to the transformative power of ambition, diplomacy, and enlightened governance.